All right. This is Wednesday, 17th of September. Me versus me, Kenny, with lots of growth. And have I been growing? I would like to think so. It's a bit of a funny one today because we're in the trenches. What do I mean? Let me share with you my screen so you will know what am I talking about exactly. Ding. So let's head straight on to it. This is the time of the challenge where I share my challenges. My challenge currently is hitting 2 stop losses. We all know about the one we took on Monday because that was in the consolidation zone, and then we took the wrong bias and it broke in the wrong way. We took a full R loss on that. Yesterday in Asia, I talked about the price going for 175 pips, which was done in London session. And then it formed a high at London. I was slightly hesitant on taking the buy, and that's why I downsized to 0.6% rather than my full 1% risk. I was contemplating between risking down versus taking the full R, the full percent, versus paper trading. I ended up committing to the trade, executing my protocol, and taking the losses as they come. So this is considered as a system loss because there were no indications of a reverse trade, whereas this I would consider as a incorrect bias, an error. So I took a system loss yesterday and I'm pretty happy about it. I can say happy now, but as it was unfolding, it went to a drawdown, it went into slight profit, and the moment that this candle turned into negative, I knew that I was in for the negative as well. So again, there was a chance for me to cut my trade short. However, not doing that was also something that I felt relieved by, you might say. Like, my protocol was to exit upon the trigger flipping, and that trigger was on that low, this high, that low, and on the M30 flipping below, and there was no chance of this happening because the 9 was far away. So in fact, it's still holding now, which leads me to today's analysis, which I'll come into after we do our scorecard. So let's do that quickly. Today is Asia pre-market, as we are in our winning streak. We're doing this the same as we do the previous weeks. The results is not going to change the inputs. We're going to be here rain or shine, and currently we're in the rain. And what does that mean? Do I bring the umbrella out? Do I not go out? Do I not take the risk? That's not going to change. I'm going to fail to the level of my systems, and my system says we are in action every day, unless conditions do not permit. But before I get to the conditions, I need to make sure that I'm on a healthy execution level. So Monday, we know that because of the late waking up, I was a bit distracted. Not distracted, I was a bit subpar. I wasn't operating at my optimal level. Tuesday, we hit 82%, and today, with our book read later, hopefully we'll go on 80%. Now, I've done all my morning routine. I went to bed at 10:30 yesterday, but I only fell asleep at 1, so I unchecked this. My quality of sleep, I would say, is about 6.5, 7. So not the greatest, but not the worst either. I am in a operable mode. Daily vision, we've meditated this morning. Trading terminal check, we did that just earlier. I'll do that again in front of you. And then our me versus me, we're doing it right now. So emotions and stress level. I was slightly stressed yesterday, seeing as to my trade not panning out as I expected. Stressed as in, like, man, I know we're heading for a, what you call it, a train wreck, but I can't do anything about it. So you can say it's stress, you can say it's relieved in some other ways, but I'm happy with that edge because I can refine that edge later on. I'm not going to do it in this challenge. I've already done one shift in this challenge, which was the ranging. And then in fact, I did the 0.6R, which is down risking. So I think that's enough of risk controls during this period. I'm not going to cut the trade short just for me to feel better. I'm going to let it play out to 1 hour, and then I'm going to improve on my losers in the next me versus me challenge. Mentally prepared, balanced, and patient. In my setup, I think it's quite easy to do that because I'm only going to go execute at my specific session times, 11 a.m. or 6 p.m. It's looking likely to be 11 a.m. today rather than 6 p.m. Only because we know that there is some red news at the end of the day today, which I'll talk about later, FOMC. Detachment from the outcome, so far so good. We've hit 2 stop losses, but that's not going to deter us from taking another trade today, especially when we've seen the right conditions play out. My C-game trigger I will highlight now would be to continue altering my risk and downsizing. I think we're done with that this week unless it consolidates further, which I don't see it happening for this couple of days. We're going to go with 1%. We're going to go with 1%. We're going to go with our full risk. We're going to take our full reward as well. And by the way, talking about my other C game, not over trading. So just take the trade, set and forget. That's it. Distractions removed. Boys are back in school, except the other one who's sick. Forecasting and setup conditions. This is what we're going to the next 4. So back to the charts. And what do you know? The price came down from London yesterday, back to the MAs, and in fact it hit my 3rd MA. So it's done a full trend reset back to the MAs, and now it's ready to leave back into the trend. Ideally, we want the price to close somewhere here, but it is where it will be. We're expecting another, I think 1700 pips. Yeah, 175 pips, which would go back up into the highs of yesterday again. So you can see that we're sort of collecting the trade where we left off. So it is what it is. It's what this setup is meant to do. We lose one, we take one back, and in the long run, we win more than we lose. As with any other edge, nothing is perfect. Well, I'm also supported by the fact that the price is still trading outside of Monday, so that gives me an indication that the price will hit Tuesday high at the very least because it's now hit the support of Tuesday. I'm happy to execute on Asia today because the formation and the structure is giving me that bounce off the support and going back up. Do I need more confirmation? The confirmation is in the structure and in the time itself. Should I delay this trade into London? I may be trading near the highs. Or alternatively, the price may linger through Asia and then pick up during London. London range is supposed to be 1504, 1804. Let me confirm. 150. So it's a smaller London range, but I'm going to commit to the bigger range. Both are going to be a TP, I expect today. And even if it doesn't, the market does what it wants to do, and I'm here to learn. So we're going to let the market close up in 9 minutes, and we're going to let our trade play out. So the last thing we want to check is, I'm going to put in 1750. You can see our risk was down to 1% here. 0.6 yesterday. We're going to turn it back up to 1. 1750. And we're going to click a trade here and pending buy. 55C. You can see all my copies are live. And I just need to check the lot sizing on those. So to page 1. 348, that's right. 11 cents, that's right. 18 cents, that's right. Page 2. We have 8 cents, that's right. 36 here. That's right, 38, yep. And 22. Okay, so all of them are in the right place. We only need to wait for our execution in about 8 minutes time. I'm just going to click delete order and everything should clear up. So that is it for my systems check. Let's head on back to our habits. And we're just going to mark these off now. Okay. And back to the big camera. Today is a short and simple session. It is sort of a boom and bust cycle, as you may, for every trader. And currently I just went into a little bust. It's not exactly a bust because I'm executing according to my protocols. I'm not over trading. I'm not looking for extra trades. I'm not forcing trades. These trades are the trades that I'm supposed to take. So I'm going to continue taking them. If it's going to be a third stop loss in a row, so be it. But I'm going to review at the end of the week. And it's going to be a very interesting review at the end of the week, should that happen. But when that doesn't happen, we're going to start pulling back some profit. And hopefully with the next 2 or 3 executions, we'll get back into the blues, the greens, or the profits, as you might call them, by the end of Friday. And one last thing before we go, I did mention about FOMC. So just to touch on that a little bit, we know FOMC is at there, which is about 16 hours away from where I am now. It is something on the back of my mind, but it's also just volatility and accelerated move. The market has formed lows, and the only way is up. The only thing that I'm concerned about is the fact that should my trade not catch the take profit, it will then come back and be at risk for volatility during the FOMC session. However, because my stop loss is going to be way outside Tuesday low, I am not too concerned about that. So take the news as face value, understand your edge, understand your setup. The news is so far away that my trade should TP before then. And even when it doesn't, it should last past the news. So with that in mind, this is Kenny, lots of growth, me versus me. And I'm here to be present and consistent with my goals, my processes, and the goals should take care of themselves. I'm logging out today. Until next time.